Alright, hello everybody, my name is Nathan ELEMENTofFROST. Welcome back to yet another episode review video for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead. And this week's review video is on Season 1, Episode 3, which aired yesterday on September 13th. Obviously today is Monday, September 14th, so hopefully you guys will enjoy the video here today. Anyway, Season 1, Episode 3, entitled The Dog. The synopsis went as follows. After they escape a riot, Travis, Lisa, and Chris seek refuge with the Salazars. Madison defends her home. Alright, thank you guys for watching today's episode review. I'm fucking kidding you. I'm literally kidding you right now. If you thought it was going to be that short, you have something. That was a stupid joke. It was a dumb joke. It was probably not even funny. And I do apologize for you having to sit through it. Anyways, moving on. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the background gameplay of Destiny. It's probably some Crucible gameplay or just some general PvE, being like just the campaign, me playing solo, doing bounties, stuff like that, having fun, whatever. Enjoy it. It's in the background. If you don't want to enjoy it, the audio for the gameplay is on mute, so you guys don't have to listen to it, but you guys can like go to another webpage, I don't know, browse around on Facebook while you listen to it. Whatever. Do what you want, but the gameplay is there for you if you guys want it. Anyways, review video, guys. As always, my reviews do contain spoilers, so if you guys have not watched the episode, make sure you go do that and then come back to the video, because if you guys continue on after this point, the episode will be spoiled, and don't be pissed off at me if it does, because I just warned you, so go watch the episode. Anyway, moving on. The episode starts out, guys, as basically the riot intensifies outside of the barbershop that Travis is staying at. Travis and his family, obviously that being Chris and Lisa, right? So they're in the barbershop and everything is just intensifying me, or not intensifying me rather, but not intensifying me. I don't know why I said me. That was pretty weird, but intensifying the riot is just generally getting worse outside of the barbershop, and it's not getting any better anytime soon. From now, it's only going to get worse, honestly. So, basically, the Salazars and everybody says that, you know, they're safe inside the barbershop. Travis basically is like, no, we're not safe. We have to get out of here soon. And, well, that starts to happen. So, the shop next door is getting broken into. The looters basically would never break into a barbershop. That's what Salazar points out. You know, what are they going to steal in here? A pair of scissors, basically. You know, combs, whatever. And basically, Travis is still saying, you know, it doesn't matter. We still have to get out of here. It's not safe. And Chris notices now, which is obviously Travis's son, he notices that the shop's walls are getting hot. The mob has set a fire next door, as I predicted in my prediction video on Thursday. So if you guys have not seen that prediction video, go check that out too if you guys want to before you continue on with this episode review. Link to that will be in the description, so definitely go check that out. Anyway, so yeah, everything's breaking down. The barbershop's not safe anymore. I'm going to try a bit of a different attempt at an episode review here today. Usually I go over like a full recap of the episode, tell you like word for word, pretty much scene for scene what happened. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to try it a little bit differently. I'm going to try to make the review a little tiny bit shorter than what I usually make it. I'm probably going to aim for about 20-minute mark. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. It's going to be a different attempt to it. So if you guys don't like it, I always can go back to the full recap and, you know, sort of review it after that. But today, I'm going to go through recap, but at the same time, I'm going to review it. And it's going to be faster. So basically, everything's breaking down, and they actually have to get out of there. Okay? So they all get together in one giant group, obviously Travis's group and the Salazars. And they all get together and they notice that it's not safe in there. The walls are getting hot. Eventually the fire will spread. They have to get out of there. Even if they're not going to get broken into. Even if the barbershop is not going to get broken into. They have to get out of there because shit's on fire, man. The riot has escalated yet again. This time to arson, basically. So they run into the street as a big group, and as they run, Chris notices an infected basically devouring a police officer that is in riot gear. So a police officer that is in riot gear is literally getting eaten right now. He's not safe in that riot gear. People obviously it's a bit safer than just running around, naked just with plain clothes on. But riot gear cannot just stop an outbreak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was kind of alluding to that the authorities and people are not going to be able to prevent this. It's going to happen, and it is happening. So anyway, they run. They basically they're still running, and then it actually cuts to a scene back at home with Madison and Nick and Alicia. So Madison actually gives Nick another pill. Obviously, this is to do with his withdrawal symptoms. She evades Alicia's questions about the turned neighbor, Mr. Dawson, and basically promises her that they'll leave soon as Travis returns. And they actually end up playing Monopoly. So, yeah, there's that, I guess. I think they're a family that enjoyed Monopoly before this whole thing broke down. I think that they were constantly, maybe always playing it. I know that they had some connections with their dad with Monopoly and stuff like that, because I believe that Nick wanted to be like a certain piece in the game that his father always was, stuff like that. Obviously, their father ended up dying, unfortunately for them, so that definitely does suck. But they end up playing Monopoly as a distraction until Travis gets home. So now, amid the mayhem in downtown LA, a scaffolding now collapses and topples onto Griselda. And Griselda is the wife of, I'm pretty sure his name is Daniel Salazar. So yeah, we had previously thought in the sneak peek for this episode that I went over in my prediction video yet again, her foot was all fucked up, right? We knew that. And it was bloody, and I thought actually she might have got bit. But that turns out that it's not the case. It's actually the scaffolding collapsing on top of her. And even though getting bit and the collapsing on top of her might actually turn out in the same outcome as what it could have turned out if she was bit, we'll go over that a little later. But it looks like that's where we're heading towards anyways. So we'll see, I guess, huh? Anyway, scaffolding collapses. Traps her under it, smashes her ankle all up, smashes all up her foot, and they pick her up. Travis helps carry her to his truck, and they all escape together. Lisa, obviously, who's a nurse, if you guys do not remember, she's a nurse. She tends to Griselda's basically mangled foot at this point, and just completely, like, it's just destroyed. Basically concludes that they need a doctor, they need a hospital. So Travis now drives to a nearby hospital, which again, we've seen in another sneak peek, them driving to a hospital. This was a sneak peek. This was actually the same sneak peek that we saw Griselda's foot fucked up in. Yeah, because we didn't actually get to see the scaffolding and everything collapsing in that sneak peek. That's why I assumed that it was a bite. But anyway, they go to a hospital, and again, it's not safe there. We see walkers outside. We see riot squads trying to get all the people just to keep moving with their trucks and their cars and to get everybody home, get everybody to safety. And obviously they shoot a walker down the parking lot. We've seen that actually again in the same sneak peek that we've seen Griselda's foot. So the hospital's not safe, so they have to keep on going. So Daniel tells Travis basically to temporarily shelter them at his house. As they drive home, blackouts darken the LA skyline. Literally, nothing else is lit up. They're driving home. They look over like a cliff/area, and basically just lights start going out around the city. Like literally, districts of the city just go black, and we cannot literally see anything anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous, guys. Riots. This is what starts it, man. Honestly, like zombies are what starts the riots, right? But riots is what really breaks down civilization. They completely, basically, riots are the form of the zombie apocalypse really getting started. You know what I mean? Because they literally break down any chance of, like civilization basically surviving. You know what I'm saying? Because they completely take out the power grids, and it's not a nice time, man. It really isn't. It's not safe to be outside anymore, and that's why they're heading home. So anyway, Nick now back at home wonders aloud if they should leave without Travis, basically saying we can't stay here. He tells Madison, basically predicting Travis will not return anyway. He went to get his ex-wife. He went to get his son. Maybe he already went home. You know what I mean? That was his old home. And, he's just trying to say what, could actually be happening. They don't know. They can't afford to risk it. You know what I'm saying? They have to survive. I completely understand that. And they can't afford to risk it on something that might not ever happen. But I'm glad they stayed. Let's just put it like that. I'm glad they stayed. All right, so a noise outside now startles Nick, Madison, and Alicia. It's the neighbor's dog covered in blood. This is actually another sneak peek where something was banging on the windows, and Nick kind of started to open the curtain, and that's when the sneak peek cut. Didn't really know what it was. Thought it might have been a walker. I guess it wasn't. I guess it was just a dog covered in blood. The dog immediately starts barking, attracting Mr. Dawson, the walker that attacked his wife that Alicia saw outside the house the last episode before this, which was so close yet so far. Nick now suggests that they should get a shotgun from the home of their neighbors, Susan and Patrick Tran, which are actually ending up to be one of the key parts in this episode. Honestly, one of the key parts that leads us to start to really know about what's going on with the zombie apocalypse. So they run over to the Tran home with some reason the door open when the walker was approaching the house. Anyway, they ran over the home. Nick finds a shotgun and some shells. Unfortunately, they were bird shot. They don't do too much to a walker, but we'll shortly find out that they can indeed kill one. As long as you stick the barrel in their face, like very, very close. I thought it was a great scene. We'll get into it though. So yeah, they find a shotgun and some shells. Alicia sees Mr. Dawson enter the house just as Travis pulls up his truck. Travis is home, guys, but the walker is also in the home. And Alicia, Madison, and Nick are all in the other house. And Travis is about to enter the house, not knowing there's a walker in there. Like, shit cannot go fantastic, you know what I'm saying? It can't go right. Anyway, so Travis pulls up in his truck. Inside the house, Travis now finds Mr. Dawson feasting on the dog, eating the dog that was banging on the window. Just completely eating it. At that point, Madison, Alicia, and Nick were actually running over to the house to try to warn Travis about the walker that entered it. Obviously, to try to keep him safe, stuff like that. And, yeah, anyway, he's eating the dog. Travis tries to reason with him, and basically Dawson attacks him, almost bites him. Madison and Nick arrive with the shotgun. Alicia was just about to climb over the fence, and she goes back to the Tran house after Nick realizes they forgot the extra shotgun shells. They only had 2. Obviously, it's not really a shotgun. It's not going to be really a gun at all. I mean, technically it's a gun, but it's not going to shoot shit if you guys don't have fucking bullets for it. If you guys don't have shells, you got to go get them. So she went back over the fence. She went to go back into the house and get the extra shotgun shells. She's fleeing with the shells when she sees an infected Miss Tran lurking on the other side of a very, very creepy fucking door, guys. This episode of the Fear the Walking Dead was creepy as hell. I'll tell you what. This show is not like an episode of The Walking Dead, you know what I mean? Like, this show is much more relatable to what we would face at the beginning of a zombie apocalypse, to what we would face in general. Like, obviously, if you made it through this, then yes, it would be sort of like how The Walking Dead is. But that's the fucking part about it. You know, in this series, there isn't just walkers. There's people, there's the dangers of riot cops, there's the danger of just riot in generals. There's just danger all the way around it, and it's pretty scary, man. Honestly, to think that this is what we would go through at the start of an apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? Like this is some pretty creepy shit. I do enjoy it though. I do definitely enjoy it, and hopefully you guys too. Anyways, so yeah, Madison and Nick arrive with a shotgun. She goes back to find the shells. Miss Tran lurking on the other side of the door. She tries to hide. Travis tells Madison not to shoot Mr. Dawson, because Madison actually has the shotgun. Daniel grabs the gun from Madison and shoots Mr. Dawson in the head. Remember what I said about birdshot? Remember what I said about birdshot? It's for taking down birds. That's why it's called fucking birdshot. You can't just kill a human with it, especially a walker that just doesn't go down without penetrating the brain. You know what I'm saying? So he shoots him once, and his face gets all fucked up, right? It's still birdshot. It's still a shotgun shell. It's still gonna fuck you up. It would stop a human being dead in his tracks. It would put him in the hospital, stuff like that. It's a walker, okay? He doesn't care about that shit, right? So Daniel Salazar realizes that, shit, he didn't go down. So he steps a couple steps closer to the walker, puts the shotgun right in his face, pulls the trigger yet again, and blows his head clean off. So he had to get a little closer to the target, had to, shorten the spread a tiny bit of the pellets, and, yeah, managed to actually get the kill. So very happy about that. He actually knows what to do. And like he says a little later, Travis, as of right now, he's a bit weak. He's weak. He doesn't know exactly how to deal with these things. Like, as of right now, I can say that Travis will not survive long if he does not conform to what he needs to conform to. You know what I mean? If he does not realize that these people are not people anymore, they're dead, then he is not going to survive very, very long into the zombie apocalypse. But we've seen characters overcome this before, guys. We've seen plenty of characters overcome this before. We've seen Herschel overcome it. We've seen Maggie overcome it. She originally thought that they were still people, that they were sick. We've seen, I don't know, man, just multiple people, honestly, overcome it, just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, some of the Alexandrias, actually, if you guys want to relate it to a current episode of The Walking Dead, some of the Alexandrians, still don't know what really is going on behind those walls. They just know that they're safe behind those walls. From the dangers outside those walls. And, well, within the coming episodes of The Walking Dead, I feel like we're going to be able to see, these characters develop into more of a survivor type character, more of a character like from like Rick's current group. You know what I mean? That including like Glenn, Daryl, everybody like that. Maggie, stuff like that. That's probably the most relatable, is the Alexandrians in current time. As of before, like I said already, like Herschel's whole group that they met at the farm, stuff like that. They didn't really know what dangers they were facing. They thought they were just sick. You know what I'm saying? They were weak. That's what they were. They learned how to develop it, though. So I can honestly see Travis is like a strong character in terms of thought and mind process. He's a weak character in terms of having to do what he has to do in order to survive as of right now. But like I said before, he can. I can definitely see him pulling back from it. I can definitely see him learning how to conform to the new rules of the world. So, anyways, yeah, killing the walker. That's what Daniel does. Okay. Meanwhile, Alicia is basically running through the greenhouse again, back at the neighbor's house, and Miss Tran actually grabs Alicia as she climbs over the backyard fence. Chris, which is Travis's other son, his real son, not his stepson, the one that he had obviously with Lisa. Chris rushes to help her. Basically, he grabs her off the fence, takes her down to the ground, just, basically saves her life. Alicia is like struggling and elbows him in the nose, and he pulls her away. As he pulls her away from Miss Tran. So, yeah, the entire group now watches Miss Tran claw through the fence. Alicia asks basically what's wrong with her. Nick now states, she's not sick, she's dead. For a druggie, he seems to be the only one who actually knows what's going on. Madison has a clue. Okay, Travis doesn't have a clue. And Nick honestly seems to be one of the only ones that really knows what's going on right now. And he's going through withdrawal symptoms. So it's not a good sign if he's actually one of the only ones who actually knows exactly what's going on. You know, she's not sick. She's dead. Basically, Alicia now breaks down as she realizes that that was Matt's fate as well, her boyfriend, that was already sick back on the back on the bed. So that's unfortunate for her. But you got to get told, man. You got to get told sometime. She'll get through it. She's a strong character, I think. She'll definitely develop into one in terms of survival, I think. Because she was definitely not afraid to go back in that house and get those shotgun shells by herself. You know, she didn't have anybody to guide her, didn't have anybody to hold her hand. She went in there. She was brave, and she went in there, and she got the shotgun shells, and she came out and survived. She might have elbowed Chris, most likely on purpose, but yeah, I don't know. There's drama going on between those families, and we'll talk a bit more than that in a minute between Madison and good old Lisa. So, or Liza, whatever. One of those names. Not sure exactly how it's pronounced. That kind of escapes me at this moment. So yeah, anyways, inside, Travis now assures Chris that they are going to be alright. Basically says, you know, your nose not broken, don't worry about it, whatever. Daniel now informs Travis that his cousin will pick up his family in the morning. Madison tells Travis that they should leave right away, but Travis argues that it's safer to leave in daylight. Madison reluctantly agrees. It is very, very good idea to get out of there as soon as possible. But at the same time, riots are going on right now. It's the middle of the night. It's dark. We couldn't see anything. You know, obviously there's a whole blackout of the entire city. They couldn't see anything, man. So you gotta wait till daylight. I agree with them in this point. Just lock the doors. Do not open them for anybody. And you should be fine to ride out at least one night. Anything could happen, though. Anything could happen, but we'll see. We'll see. They do make it to the morning. Spoiler alert. But anyway, yeah, they leave during the daylight. So Travis now is dragging out Mr. Dawson's body, the walker that got killed by the shotgun shell right to the face by Daniel. Madison was basically saying, you know, if we're staying here the night, you got to take care of him. So he drags his body outside. He rejects Daniel's idea of burning the body to prevent the spread of infection, basically saying we don't know how the infection spreads. This is what Travis says to Daniel. We don't know how the infection spreads, which in this term there's really not too much of a point of burning the body at this point. We already know everybody's us, the viewers, we already know everybody's already infected, right? We already know that. No matter how you die, you turn into a walker. We've learned this from The Walking Dead. So, in terms of burning the body to prevent the spread of infection, obviously we know that that's not going to help anyways. So, anyways, moving on. He rejects the idea of burning the body. Basically, Daniel basically says, I understand. You knew this man. He was your neighbor, stuff like that. I know it's going to be hard for you to burn the body, whatever. Lisa now tells Travis that without a doctor's intervention, Griselda's foot will eventually become infected, poisoning her blood and causing all of her organs to fail. Travis basically says, you know, that won't happen. And Lisa says, you can't fix everything, which is totally true. You can't fix everything. It will happen, and I predict it happening at least by the end of the season. If it doesn't happen by the end of the season, it'll happen in season 2. Depending, honestly, on the pacing of the show from this point on. Who knows? It could go so fast that it would happen next episode. We don't really know. So we'll definitely see about Griselda. We'll see. But yeah, gangrene will definitely eventually set in if she doesn't get her foot looked at. And obviously, it's the starting of a zombie apocalypse. There's not too many people to look at the foot right now. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, so as Griselda rests in Alicia's room, Ophelia, which is actually the daughter of Daniel and Griselda, there's 3 people. There's the daughter, there's Griselda, and there's Daniel, and the Salazar family. She proposes that leaving with the Clark family the following day is the best course of action. Daniel here refuses, basically saying this is the wrong time to be in someone else's debt. He says, admitting that there is no cousin coming from them, or coming for them, rather. So he doesn't plan on actually getting out of there. You know what I mean? He plans to just stay in the house, to keep the house to himself, while Madison and Travis and everybody else evacuates. There's no cousin coming to pick them up or anything like that. That's where they're going to be staying. That's where they're going to be riding it out. That's his plan. So Madison now tells Travis that she's bringing enough pain meds to get Nick to the desert, and she's giving the rest to Griselda. Travis promises to never leave her again. Lisa approaches Madison to suggest that they get over their differences for the sake of the kids. Madison kind of dismisses it and basically says, I need something from you. Pointing to Miss Tran outside in the backyard, basically, clawing through the fence, trying to get inside, stuff like that, like we already seen her once before. Basically, she asks Lisa to kill her if she ever becomes infected like Miss Tran. Don't make Travis do it, she says. It would break him. And to me, this kind of was sincere, but at the same time, it was sort of like her trying to take the territory over again. Like, don't make Travis do it. It would break him. Basically saying, he cares too much about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lisa and Travis used to be married, and I'm pretty sure Madison and Travis are just boyfriend and girlfriend right now. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know if to take it this way, but I'm pretty sure she was just trying to establish her, like, boundaries between her and Travis and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to take care of it. I don't want Travis to, that it would break him because, he cares about me too much. He loves me more than you. And, I don't know. I could be taking it completely the wrong way. That's how I kind of took it. Sort of like a conniving, bitchy way. But at the same time, I understand why she's drawing the boundaries. You know what I'm saying? It's an ex-wife and a current girlfriend. It's going to get a bit awkward. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I don't know. Drama. I think that'll be fun within the group as the show continues in season 1. There, I think it'll be fun. The drama will definitely play into it. I think so. We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see, guys. We'll definitely see. Moving on, Lisa now approaches, or no, sorry, we already went over that. My bad. The next morning, Travis now buries Mr. Dawson in the backyard. Afterwards, he finds Daniel showing Chris how to use a shotgun and gets upset, basically saying he doesn't need to know how to do that. You know what I mean? He has a certain feeling about guns. He doesn't like them. And Daniel basically says the more the boy knows, the safer he'll be. Travis basically shuts him down, expressing his disdain for guns. With her hammer in hand now, outside in the backyard, Madison strides over to Miss Tran with the intention of putting her down. And Travis actually ends up stopping her. And basically says, it's not Madison's call to kill Miss Tran. Even if there's like the slight chance that she might be saved, we have to take that chance. But that's not the case, man. Obviously, Travis doesn't know that. But there's a certain point where you've got to show mercy. You know what I mean? They're about to leave, for example, and she pointed out that her husband, Miss Tran's husband, is going to be coming home soon. If he finds her like this, it's a danger to him. She's got to take care of it. Anyway, Travis ends up stopping her, takes the hammer from her, and off in the window upstairs where Daniel and his wife and everybody like that are staying in Ashley's room, basically looks down and basically says, weak. That's what, he said something in Spanish, he said something in Spanish and it translated to weak. So I'm not exactly sure what it was in Spanish, but it did translate to weak because of the subtitles. So I agree with him, man. He's definitely weak. There's definitely potential for Madison at this point, and like I said before, I think Travis will definitely eventually develop that keen survivor sense that he needs in order to survive. I think that he will eventually develop it, and if he doesn't, well, he's probably going to bite the dust pretty quickly, but I don't know. He's one of these main characters, so I see him sticking around for quite a while. I could definitely be wrong. They could kill him off by the end of season 1. That would definitely make for a good end of the season. Have a major death like that, kind of like The Walking Dead usually does. Anyways, yeah. So that's what happened there. Nick snaps at Madison, basically for sharing pills with Griselda after she got in the car. Ophelia makes one more plea with Daniel to join the Clark family, who she calls good people. Daniel basically says, good people are the first ones to die. And I completely agree. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain point to which when you need to be good, having people always join you and stuff like that, it's not always safe. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have to learn how to be good in order to find people to join your group. Because if you find survivors that join your group, they could end up saving your life down the line. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, I agree with Daniel saying good people are the first ones to die. But at the same point, Rick's group is good people. You know what I mean? They are. I mean, they do have their moments. They do have their moments where they just kill everything type of thing. But for the most part, they are good people. And they're still alive at this point. So he's somewhat right, but somewhat wrong at the same time. So Travis, Lisa, and Chris now get into the truck while Madison, Alicia, and Nick pile into the car. Helicopters fly overhead, everything like this. Shit's breaking down. As they drive down the street, Madison sees Mr. Tran arrive home from a trip. Obviously, she didn't take care of Miss Tran. Travis wouldn't let her. So she stops, cries out his name, trying to warn him, runs into the backyard. Mr. Tran walks into the backyard and cheerfully tells Miss Tran about his long drive home, blah, 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 blah. Suzanne, he basically yells Suzanne when he sees the newly infected Miss Tran. Yeah, shit's pretty creepy, man. She's a walker. He doesn't know what to do. As he reaches out to comfort her, a gunshot blast basically goes through her head. You know what I mean? Soldiers swarm into the yard, basically meaning the military has arrived. Just as Madison got there, trying to prevent him from, going towards her, don't touch her, stuff like that. She was yelling at him, and he actually went to touch her anyway. It's his wife. Yeah, well, he wanted to see what was wrong. Obviously, he didn't know that it was his impending death, but fortunately enough, the gunshot saved him. So, yeah. Anyway, as military personnel basically secure the block, trapping the families inside, they completely lock down the block, preventing anybody from leaving. A soldier asks Travis for the names of all the occupants living at his house. Travis gives the name of his family, as well as the Salazar family. The soldier now in the backyard informs Madison that Mr. Tran was removed because he got covered in all of the infected's blood. He suspiciously eyes Mr. Dawson's grave and asks basically what it is. Obviously Travis buried him in the backyard earlier that morning. And Madison just says that their dog died, and he said, I'm sorry about that. So anyway, they didn't obviously want to, because they previously asked them a question, has anybody in there been exposed to the infected? Obviously they have. There was a walker inside the house eating up a dog. You know what I mean? So obviously there has, but they didn't want to say anything, obviously, because there could be very bad shit that the military could do. So they left with the excuse that their dog died, and he actually ended up believing it. So that was definitely good. Desperate now for drugs, Nick cases a house and is about to break in, but stops when he sees a little girl watching him from the other window. Travis and Madison stand in their yard as the military takes control from the neighborhood, and Travis basically says it's going to get better from now. Well, it's not. Bad news. It's not going to get better, unfortunately. It does look to be getting better. When the cavalry arrives, that's when things seem to start, working itself out. It's not going to happen, though. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've seen The Walking Dead. We know what happens. This is like 2 years into The Walking Dead now, 2 maybe 3 years, and we know what happens. There's a spoiler. There's a certain spoiler. It doesn't get better. It might seem like it will, but it's not gonna. And anyway, from a window now, Daniel watches a soldier spray an X on a neighbor's house. and basically claims it's already too late. Meaning that he probably thinks these soldiers are trying to contain it and are probably just going to end up completely wiping the city. You know what I mean? Completely destroying everything. He says he's already too late. That's what he tells his wife. And that's actually where the episode ends, guys. So things are not going to be getting better. Things are only going to be getting worse. They might seem like they're getting better, but they're definitely not. So that is definitely unfortunate for them, but they have to learn how to develop into survivors, just like Rick's group. Hopefully they do a pretty good job at it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead. This was Season 1, Episode 3, entitled The Dog. That was a recap / review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of a different layout. I didn't go through the entire recap, everything like that. More or less reviewed it. It did still turn out to be 35 minutes because I was talking about it a lot, so I do apologize for that. But if you guys did stick around to the end, make sure you do hit the video with a like. It really does help out a lot. And yeah, if you guys enjoy this series, make sure you do subscribe. I'm closing in on 1,300 subscribers, so it definitely would help out a lot to help me get to the goal of 1,300. It would definitely be cool. If you guys enjoyed the gameplay as well, leave that in the comment section. And tell me also in the comment section what you guys thought of the episode. Did you think it was great? I thought it was one of the best episodes of Fear the Walking Dead yet. A lot of people said that episode 1 and 2 were kind of slow. They didn't really enjoy them. I enjoyed all of them so far, but I will admit that this episode was definitely better, in my opinion. I think it was definitely a very, very good episode, one of the best episodes yet. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it too, and yeah, like I said before, if you guys did enjoy the review, feel free to hit the video with a like. It really does help out a lot, and I will see you guys on the next one. If you guys only watch my reviews and predictions, I will be back on Thursday, September 17th, with my prediction video for Season 1, Episode 4, entitled Not Fade Away. And yeah, I'll be back on Thursday with that episode prediction video of that episode. But if you guys watch my other videos, I will see you guys tomorrow with Throwback Tuesday, and I will also see you guys tomorrow with Destiny's The Taken King, because it kind of releases. So, yeah. See you later, and bye for now.